Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to News Tonight this Tuesday, the 20th of February 2026. Let's start with a look at the headlines. Prime Minister Nabbanja to host UK investors to discuss areas of investment in Uganda. Low turn-up registered on day one of reopening of schools for first term. Government motivates teachers to report in schools on day one by paying their salaries on time. While NDA closes over 105 illegal drug outlets in Kabila Maido and Soroti. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Micheal Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni will join us in just a few seconds. Government of Uganda is set to host a delegation of investors from the United Kingdom who are coming to explore investment opportunities in Uganda. The delegation will arrive in the country on Monday on the invitation of the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabbanja. As Jingo Francis reports, this morning, the Prime Minister held a preparatory engagement meeting to plan for the visit and the coming of the delegation.
Kingdom from where she represented the country. In October last year, 2025, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabbanja, visited the United Kingdom from where she represented the country. During her working visit, the Premier held business and investment meetings with both the Ugandan and the UK business community. And as a result of these engagements, a high-profile delegation of investors from the United Kingdom is set to arrive to explore investment opportunities in Uganda.
We are operating under the umbrella organizations. They have the Westminster Africa Business Association and the South Asian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. They have organized a trade and investment visit to Uganda, which is scheduled to take place from 16th to 22nd this month.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabbanja, this morning held a preparatory engagement meeting with the key stakeholders to plan for their visit to the country. Nabbanja highlighted the key sectors that caught the eye of the investors.
Renewable and non-renewable power generation. 2. Manufacturing and industrial production. 3. Pharmaceuticals and health care. 4. ICT and digital services. Number 5, they want to engage in agriculture, transport and industrial infrastructure, construction, trade, logistics and supply chains, education, skills development and training, finance and investment, in addition to tourism.
I would like to also highlight that in finance, the areas of interest are to set up looking at sovereign wealth fund to creation and operational investment management, oil and gas upstream and close to upstream, and mineral extraction, tourism and agro-industry, which was already mentioned. Also looking at waste management, turning that into energy.
This is what we want, and this is what we have always advocated for, and I want to thank you for putting in your personal effort to bring these important people.
The group, which is being coordinated by William Mutenzi, a Ugandan based in the United Kingdom, will also visit various tourism centers in Uganda to enjoy the beautiful sceneries of the Pearl of Africa.
So we intentionally started targeting Indians because some of us who are business people living in Europe, we know now Indians control a lot in Europe. We have to be factual of that. So I decided to target the South Asian business community, and most of them have never been to Uganda. These people, we need to handle them well. There's a lot of countries which are trying to target the same people.
On behalf of private sector, and particularly Uganda Chamber of Commerce Industry, Prime Minister, we are committed to making sure that we identify potential partners to meet with the delegation that is coming.
In 2024, Uganda was named as the best investment destination in Africa.
In Kampala, day one reopening of schools for the 2026 academic year first term has recorded a seemingly average turnout of learners in most schools our reporters visited. Several school heads attributed the moderate reporting to the Ministry of Education's adjustment of the reporting date coupled with the effects of long holiday breaks. However, administrators remain optimistic that attendance will normalize by the end of the week. Chris Pasarini visited a number of schools and he reports.
After long weeks of silence in classrooms, learning has officially resumed as schools across the country reopened for academic year 2026. We visited several schools across Kampala to assess the level of preparedness, attendance, and the general mood. And here we have got an important story to tell. By 8 a.m., schools such as Chitanti Hill School were already lively, with the students assembled for parade as administrators welcomed them back. The head teacher, Watachala Samuel, says reporting on day one was average and academic tasks were set to begin immediately.
We've got an average turn-up of students. Having stayed in the villages for some time, they're a bit sluggish. But for us, we are prepared as a school to receive them. All the teachers have reported. Government has played its part.
School heads further explained that some parents delay reporting due to concerns over tuition requirements. Administrators clarified that installment payments are acceptable.
We've given them a benefit of doubt. We are allowing them in school, of course, for some time, because schools entirely run on their contributions.
Some of them had already gone into a relaxed mood. Yes, they have come to school, but you can see that the academic mood is only being received or being got.
As we have been doing a lot of work at home, doing a lot of home chores, so we are happy to be doing only one thing here at school and also interact with our friends, because it has been long, we have not been seeing them for a long time.
At Mlago High School, learner numbers were still noticeably low. The school administrators cited holiday fatigue and delayed travel arrangements, but expressed confidence that students would report in the coming days.
So some of them have been working, we expect, depending on our catchment area. So the turn-up was not so good, but we expect that by tomorrow it will have improved, because in the senior for today, I think 25 have reported.
We have been home, we have survived from so many cases. We waited for the Christmas season, it went over. We waited for the elections, they went over.
In several primary schools, learners were still adjusting after a prolonged break.
Good enough, our teachers were here 3 weeks earlier. We've been planning the content that we are going to teach, planning on how to receive them, and it is all about setting a child's mind. When he drops in school, try to set the mind.
Our school has been providing some content online, and we have been going through some.
Nothing beats the thrill of sitting in class and, working together with them.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Turn-up for learners reporting for the first term remains low on day one, even in other schools. Schools opened their gates to receive learners for the new term across the country. However, in schools that we visited, still in Wakiso district, teachers were available in classes attending to few learners who managed to make it day one.
Unlike private schools in Wakiso and Kampala districts, the government-aided school learners reported to open the new first term as indicated in the Ministry of Education and Sports academic calendar for the year 2026. At Umea Primary School in Maganjo, Wakiso district, the turn-up was overwhelming and the teachers were present to teach.
Not all good, but I think they are coming. We encourage parents to send their children to school.
However, in Kasangati town at Chidde Nursery and Primary, a private school, the turn-up of learners was not impressive, but the teachers and support staff were present to kickstart the opening of the new term.
I think this has been caused by the poverty among our parents. There are also some parents who deliberately have delayed their children to come back, so therefore I call upon them to consider bringing them back in time in that they don't miss out.
The Director Mobilization at the NRM Secretariat, who doubles as a director at this school, Rosna Subugaseninde, appealed to parents to be responsible and own up the challenges of educating their children.
It is very important that we play our role as parents. In most cases, there are parents who take children to school. After paying school fees, they think all is done. And we forget that we have a role to play to ensure that we follow up our children at school to see how they are performing, how they are behaving, and helping them where they need help. The responsibility should not be left to the schools alone. We play a crucial role as parents.
She advised parents who can't afford private schools to consider educating their children in government-aided schools, which she says are equally good. In Busega at King Fahad Islamic Secondary School, the situation was calm with teachers present attending to a small number of learners.
When students are ready to come back to school, they miss a lot. And in this new curriculum, you need to be in class by yourself, not just copying notes as we used to do in old curriculum. New curriculum, it's you to be there physically so that you understand. It's more about understanding the concepts.
A similar situation was at Greg's Primary School in Maganjo, where low numbers of learners were registered for the new first term.
Parents are afraid to bring back their children due to lack of money. And we are expecting by the end of this week, maybe the turn-up will be good.
Okay. In Hoima, the situation was not that different. All schools and institutions of learning we visited registered a low turn-up still of learners that reported for term one.
Peter Lumu, the director of Step by Step Nursery and Primary School in Hoima City, says whereas the low turn-up has affected the schools on day one, they managed to receive 200 learners, representing 50% of the 400 enrollment of the school's total population.
Thank all the children who have turned up. I thank the community, the politicians, the education officer, for emphasizing the turn-up.
From Step by Step Nursery and Primary School, we headed to Central Secondary School, also situated in Hoima City, where we found Isaiah Atgonza, the head teacher of the school. He says by press time, the school had received 486 learners, posting about 59.3% of the expected 819 total enrollment.
Meaning that we have a percentage of 59.3%. And for those parents who are yet to send their children, I encourage them to send their learners. Otherwise, teaching is going to commence and they would lag behind in terms of syllabus coverage.
However, the stakeholders appeal to parents to report at school with their children for negotiations on the payment schedule and meeting the set curriculum.
Don't wait. The more you wait, the more you delay the smooth running of learning and teaching activities at school. Don't wait. Report. The teachers already at school.
In Mbale district at Nabumali High School, the administration recorded low turn-up compared to the total number of registered students.
Confusion came in because of the
the communication that came in from the government that put the official date to 10th. And again, last evening, there was, I think, some social media reporting that schools are reopening on 31st February. So I asked the parents whether February has 31 days. But that kind of confusion is what affected. But I think also the finances are not that good. Yeah, we require our students to pay in some money before they come in to enable us start the term.
As the new school term begins, schools in Ntungamo district are registering a strong learner turn-up. At Brilliant Twinkles Nursery and Primary School in Ntungamo municipality, learners reported large numbers, many accompanied by their parents.
So far, so good. Today has been our day of reporting, but there are some boarders who came yesterday. We registered around 240 boarders who registered yesterday. They are already in school. And our parents today are coming, and as we talk, very many learners, around 700, have already reported.
The school received over 200 boarding learners on the first day and continues to receive more.
Our teachers have been here for a week, ready to prepare, to scheme, to lesson plan, to look for all the instructional materials so that we can start with immediate effect.
Brilliant Twinkles recently posted a 100% pass rate in the primary leaving examinations, with all 57 candidates scoring grade 1.
This outstanding performance, and I attribute it to good parents who always provide what is required in time.
At Ntungamo High School, which has an enrollment of over 1,900 students, the majority of learners have already reported.
So our students have come today. I'm so impressed by the numbers that we are receiving in the company of their parents. I'm happy that most of the children are being accompanied by their parents to ensure that they get into school safely.
School administrators say learners will proceed as scheduled on the Ministry of Education calendar, despite minor logistical challenges faced by some parents.
Majority of parents seem to be having difficulties in mobilizing the resources like school fees, because there are some even who are coming in our offices requesting for complete pardon. Somebody comes and tells you a lot of issues and requesting that maybe we allow children to come in and they can without paying anything. So an indication that behind there in the public domain, things are not going on well.
Still in the line of reporting, educationists in Moroto are calling upon government to prioritize making schools all boarding across Karamoja, a move they say will attract school attendance, retention and completion in the region.
Today marks the beginning of Term 1, academic year 2026 across the country. However, like other parts of the country, across Karamoja sub-region, schools have registered a low turn-up too, Moroto district being most affected. Many of the teachers were available in classes, but with no learners to teach. Time check was 9 a.m. at Nadunget Primary School in Nadunget Town Council, Moroto district. Few learners had reported for their first term opening. Instead of learning, they were subjected to cleaning classrooms. Close to 100 learners had reported out of 1,000 learners who were in school last year.
I think they have their own culture. Always in the first week, you find that learners are very few, but we always realize a good number in the second week.
At Naitakwa Primary School, over 200 learners out of 1,203 were at school and classes were going on well. Only 4 primary 7 learners were present.
And we have 265, and the classes are functioning, they are all learning.
The few teachers who arrived yesterday are all around.
Less than 50 learners reported at Moroto Municipal Primary School. Of these, there was no primary 7 learners.
50 learners. And all the teachers are present, and they have already given them some work to do.
World Food Program has already supplied food in all government primary schools, and preparing meals was going on. Teachers and educationists in Moroto explain why the low turn-up.
It was a very long holiday, and in the course of the long holiday, some of these children could have trekked to the cattle farms. Some of them could have gone even to the mining site.
Parents are not very serious in reporting. Right now, the parents are supposed to escort their children to school, but you find children are coming alone. And yet there are certain particulars of parents that we need for them to...
Being now, as a district, first of all, we are preparing to have a back-to-school campaign, moving to all parts of the district, all the sub-counties. We need to make sure that we reach the mining areas. We need to make sure that we reach to the trading centers, we reach to churches, especially on Sunday.
Moroto District Inspector of Schools, Peter Maruk, called upon government to consider boarding schools for Karamoja sub-region to deter learners who are trapped in mining and grazing fields.
To consider another side, the context of Karamoja. When you compare Karamoja and other regions, Karamoja should be given a special attention on the side of the critical areas.
However, school heads decry limited dormitories for learners. In some schools, classrooms are turned into dormitories at night.
Thank you for watching. Let's take a short break. Please keep it with us.
So, Micheal.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
It's back, bigger and with more business opportunities. It's the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate 2026, Uganda's flagship tourism event. Poate 2026 will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of May 2026 at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, under the theme Wanderlust. It's your time to thrive. Yes, it's your time to tap into Uganda's renewed optimism and tourism growth. Tourism stakeholders, travel trade partners, and tourism enthusiasts will be part of the Poate 2026. Come and network with like-minded people and unlock new business opportunities. To participate, register at www.poate.co.ug. Poate 2026 is brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board and partners.
UBC News Tonight. We'll come back from the break. Administrators for universal primary education schools have commended government for the timely payment of teachers' salaries, saying it has helped motivate the teachers. The applause was during the inspection of UPE schools around Kampala by State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriku Kadichu.
Officials from Kampala Capital City Authority accompanied the Minister of State for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, to assess the readiness of schools as the new education calendar begins. The first school to be visited was St. Peter's Nsambia Primary School that has a population of over 3,000 learners. Minister Moriko was impressed with the high turn-up of learners on the first day.
And welcome to the 7th candidate class of 2026. Thank you.
So today, as we are right here in one of the schools, this is a UPE school. We have the learners in class. We have the teachers teaching them, which is really a great step ahead. And I'm happy of the level at which we started. I can confidently say and confirm that schools in Kampala City Authority, all the schools have started, and the reporting is so far so good.
Here, the first day, we start teaching in class. And there is no business of working around, in the compound, because we have the workers who do that work during the holiday. So let the children come on the first day and we start teaching them.
In the just released primary living examinations, St. Peter's Nsambia Primary School had 484 pupils and 137 passed in first grade. The administrators attributed the good performance in UPE schools to the motivation of the teachers, like timely payment of salaries.
At the end of the month, I think it motivates you because you're very sure that as you work, you'll have the money to take home and buy and prepare your family as well. So we are grateful for that.
Other schools visited include Rere Children Primary School and Chitante. The head teachers have, however, appealed to the parents to ensure that learners report on the first day of school to optimize all the time allocated for school days. Adia Nakote, UBC.
As reporting for Senior 1's NIAS, education stakeholders are praising the competence-based curriculum as a bold move towards practical learning, but caution that unresolved gaps could blunt its effectiveness if not addressed quickly.
Principal of Mount Olive Secondary School, Kakiri, Ms. Laboke Regina, says the curriculum is steadily transforming how learners think, shifting focus from memorization to critical analysis and real-life problem solving.
The exam examines soft skills. These are skills of critical thinking and problem solving. They are skills of communication, collaboration, creativity, and patriotism. We call them soft skills. They are different from the hard skills of tailoring, of bakery. So the children, the skills they are supposed to use at the place of work, when they go out there to work, they are actually being prepared to fit into work. Why? Because at work, we need someone who can think critically.
She warns that the transition remains uneven, especially at the university level, where institutions are yet to fully adjust their teaching systems while continuing to admit students trained under the new framework.
My concern is the A-level curriculum. Is that they released the A-level curriculum last year. We taught senior 5 the full year. But the assessment policy, how we are going to examine these children, how many papers they are going to sit, has not yet been released by UNEP. And they promised to release it this month. Now you wonder, how do you teach a class a whole year without knowing how they will be examined? That's my concern. Another concern is textbooks. The S5's curriculum, the A-level curriculum has been revised, but there's been no revision of textbooks to guide us in the approach. So we are thinking critically and seeing how we can use the old textbooks, which are also still relevant anyway.
The chairman of the National Association of Private Education Institutions, Asad Chilavira, is calling on Your Neighbor National Curriculum Development Center to urgently strengthen continuous teacher training to sustain learning outcomes nationwide.
CBS curriculums have been introduced in East Africa. And in East Africa, countries like Kenya, they are doing well because they have followed the processes and they are yielding.
Here is the challenge. They don't know how secondary school is being handled, how many services are we handling, how many are compulsory. Even parents don't know how this competence-based curriculum in secondary schools work.
As schools gear up for reporting, institutions including Old Kampala Senior School and St. Charles High School Lubya say they are fully prepared with learners and parent orientation programs.
But we are prepared. The infrastructure is there, the textbooks are there, the teachers are there. We are only waiting for the learners.
We thank you so much for watching. Now, as schools across the country continue to struggle with the implementation of the new competence-based curriculum, facing challenges as inadequate laboratory facilities, limited teaching materials, and insufficient funding, hope has come to St. Paul Secondary School in Sao. The Rotary Club of Lukuli, in partnership with the Rotary International and the Global Uplift Project from California in the United States, has commissioned laboratory equipment worth $250 million under the Science Uplift Education Initiative to boost science learning.
Across many schools in Uganda, the rollout of the new curriculum has been slowed down by major challenges, including lack of functional laboratories, limited access to practical science equipment, among others, making hands-on learning difficult. With this, the Rotary Club of Rukuli, together with Freedom Rotarians from California and in Sao community project partners, have donated a laboratory apparatus to St. Paul Secondary School in Nsanji. The donation is aimed at strengthening practical science education and supporting schools to effectively implement the new curriculum.
We now launch this lab project with
Speaking at the handover ceremony, the guest of honor, Mr. Francis Kosemwanga, called upon students to remain focused on their studies, questioning them against distractions, especially from social media.
This is the time you have. It is the opportunity for you have to better your future. The earlier you take education serious and be disciplined and focus on academics, the better for you.
The president of Rotary Club Lukuli, Alexa Gaba, said the initiative reflects Rotary Board and mission of community service and sustainable development.
Hope that is going to promote and encourage students who have been initially encouraged by the government to take up science education, because science education in Uganda is well paying. Definitely, we believe that such initiative is going to motivate students to do much better. So when they go out in public, they will definitely be talking about science, because in Uganda we need science.
Administrators at St. Paul SS applauded the partners, saying the equipment will significantly improve science teaching and learner engagement.
Receiving today is timely and will significantly enable us to address these challenges and realize our vision to produce individuals with ability and skills to add value to self, society, and the nation.
The Rotary Club of Lukuli says the Science Uplift Education Initiative is only the beginning, with plans to extend support to more schools across the country.
I helped the Rotary Club of Konge Lukuli to secure this equipment, and I'm very excited that we are at this point.
And it's very important for the education of the students so they can do well going on into the future. And we hope that we can somehow return with additional work later.
Suzanne Nabugude for UBC News.
The Democratic Party Women's League has urged government to develop policy regulations that aim at improving the quality and standards of learning institutions nationwide. Sarah Adong, the president of the league, is concerned that many schools are currently in a dire state, which affects the quality of learners.
Government under the National Development Plan 4 is supposed to address gaps in access, equity and quality across all levels of the education system. The aim is to improve the quality of education. The president of the Democratic Party Women's League, Sarah Adong, says some schools in Uganda have been commercialized and are deteriorating, hence hindering the quality of education.
We want to see those people go to school. Nyamwamba, that area. We want to see those children go to school. And they were complaining that even the UPE school, which could help them, they're charging them close to 80,000 shillings per child. And they're poor, they have no money, they're not working, there's no business. Rain is now getting back. Is Kasese safe? No.
Sarah singled out River Nyamwamba in Kasese district that burst its banks, affecting school-going pupils at primary level. She appealed to the Ministry of Education and Sports to urgently address the challenges in the education sector.
You find a boy of 15 years, 16, is already married, is a husband. Now what kind of family are you going to have? You have a child mother and a child father. Then you have a child kind of family. Children family. Please fulfill the desires of Ugandans. Because when you're elected in parliament, you cease to be DP, you cease to be NRM, you think about the Ugandan, the black, yellow, red. We need a regulation coming from parliament. We need to regulate. If not regulate the fees is too exorbitant. Who does not understand?
Adongo advised men to remain responsible and present in the upbringing of the education needs of their children.
We have married but single mothers in their homes. Fathers are absent. You only see their picture like that, but there's no father in the home. I don't know what happened to the men. Where did the men go to? So if the men have neglected their roles, they're not helping to pay tuition and pay school fees with the exorbitant fee, where are we going to? Are we not crashing? If there's a plane, then we are crashing.
On the other hand, the DP Party Women's League expressed concern over party leaders who support male candidates over women, even in cases when the men are not official party candidates. The league called upon women interested in representing the party in the 2031 elections to strategize on ground in preparation for the next electoral process.
Let the women choose their leaders by their own. In fact, for me, if you do ask me, I would even suggest that we have the National Women Council to elect the women representatives.
Charity Marion Imnat and Pauline Ongoyet reporting for UBC News.
The National Drug Authority has closed more than 105 illegal drug outlets and impounded 260 boxes of assorted medicines worth 65 million shillings in northeastern Uganda.
The week-long compliance operation conducted by the National Drug Authority targeting illegal drug outlets in the districts of Kaberamaido, Karaki, Ngora and Soroti. During the operation, NDA identified major violations including operation from unauthorized premises, running unlicensed drug outlets and the use of unqualified personnel to dispense medicines. NDA officials also found some medicines displayed on the ground and mats, exposing them to contamination.
Medicines being sold in shift markets. The popular markets like Amukaru, Wera, Toroma, Chorimongin, Otuboi here, you find people with papyrus mats laying out drugs like their groundnuts. It is also very common. It used to be very common in Ochero, but it has reduced.
And loss of quality. Tom Makumbi, NDA Regional Inspector of Drugs, Soroti, says the authority closed over 105 illegal outlets and impounded 260 boxes of assorted medicines worth 65 million shillings.
Based on our surveillance, we established that the worst offender currently is Kaberamaido district. And most of the cases of illegality came from Kaberamaido district. We were able to retrieve 44 boxes of medicines from that district, from illegal outlets.
Makumbi adds that such practices contribute to the circulation of poor quality medicines, treatment failure and microbial resistance, posing serious public health risks.
To advise operators of outlets that deal in medicines as well as those healthcare products, to formalize their operations and to visit our regional offices in Soroti City.
The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, have ended their 8-month mass enrollment operations of persons across parish levels, citing an increase in the number of enrolled citizens within the database. NIRA has, however, called for an improvement in child registration, citing low turnout.
That are due for collection across the country. This morning, ladies and gentlemen and fellow countrymen, I want to make particular acknowledgements. The data migration was fully completed, and I think that is a progress milestone that is worth commenting. But also, in this period of 8 months, we have captured biometric data and verified records of over 20 million Ugandans. In this period, we have also done massively renewal and update of cards, a 90% achievement rate for people who already were NIND and were now seeking to obtain a card is commendable. It is possible that the 10% could relate to people that have moved on to eternity and have left this world and maybe are deceased. It is also possible that human beings are not rigid, they are mobile and could have moved to other areas which could inform their inability to access service. But also, we recognize that there is a lacuna in the area of new registration, particularly children. It has been our duty to engage with you, the Fourth Estate, from time and again, reminding the citizens on why it is important to register babies from the time of birth. We are committed as an entity, and the management of NIRA will seek to rigorously determine the next steps of how we can make it possible to reach the child-dense areas and spaces to ensure that every child in this country makes their way onto the National Register. Suffice to say, with the migrated data from the old system and the new people registered, the National Register has over 35 million Ugandans that can be uniquely identified by a biometric. We have successfully migrated all data from the old system into the new, and I wish to inform you this morning that 28 million records, 571,893 are now migrated into the new system. So every record that we did have in the old system is now present in the new system. So 100% achievement level to the extent of migration.
As Ugandans prepare to join the rest of the world to celebrate the Valentine's Day of February 14th, the Uganda government has reiterated its commitment to HIV and STI prevention with renewed emphasis on the consistent and correct use of protection. This comes as stakeholders mark the International Synthetic Rubber Day amid growing concerns over rising sexually transmitted infections and decline in the use of protection, especially among the young people.
Many Ugandan people enjoy their freedom, hanging out with friends, exploring relationships, and having fun. But this freedom comes with risks. Research shows that in Africa, millions of young people are infected with HIV/AIDS every year. The more sexually active you are without protection, the higher chances of contracting HIV or other sexually transmitted infections.
Very important, men, you normally rush things. Eh?
Speaking at the media engagement ahead of the International Synthetic Rubber Day celebrations, Dr. Charles Orola, the Director General of Health Services at the Ministry of Health, emphasized that protection remains one of the most effective and affordable tools for HIV and STI prevention.
Many of our mothers sacrifice and got involved engaged in the program of prevention of motherhood to child. And they gave birth to children who were what? HIV negative. But now we have let them down by now getting when you become adolescent, you become a big person, and then you end up by what? In reality, don't you think you are being very unfair to your mother? Yes, whereas you can say that this is my life, but I'm sure that the many people who have contributed to us would not remember that love month as the month when we go to what STI, or when we get to HIV.
Dr. Charles Orola noted that the government has committed financing to ensure an uninterrupted supply of protectors across the country, working closely with development partners, marketeers, and private pharmacies.
Government has committed financing. So in terms of the supply, because you cannot have a condom program without commodities. So we're looking at that and working with other partners, the marketeers and all the others. We really that we want to provide what? Provide condoms. And we really want to remove stigma. But particularly for the government one, we offer them for free. They are not sold.
According to the Ministry of Health, the use of protectors currently stands at 17%. Boniface Epoku, the Program Officer for Protection Programming at the Ministry of Health, highlighted a noticeable decline in the use.
We need to work with the cultural leaders to make sure, that's why we are engaging with the Toro Kingdom, to make sure that we talk to the population. As we practice our culture, we should also be cognizant that HIV is here, and we need to be able to adopt the different interventions that government has put in place.
We still have a long way to go because the condom use in the last sexual sexual encounter, we are not doing very well compared to our peers in the neighborhood. The last survey by UDHS, by UBOS, showed that about 17% respondents had used a condom in the last encounter. When you compare this to Kenya, Kenya had about 67%.
This event will be marked in Toro Kingdom, where new HIV infections are arising. Nals Bawini, Chontawairi Prosi for UBC.
So, Micheal.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Did you know? International Condom Day is a global opportunity to reclaim our health and protect our future. Despite emerging health technologies, condoms remain the only triple protection against HIV, rising STIs like syphilis and unintended pregnancies. Today, rising STI rates are a warning sign we cannot ignore. Ignoring prevention today fuels the infections of tomorrow. Increased accessibility, availability and affordability of condoms is key to ending HIV epidemic by 2030. As we mark this year's International Condom Day, we remind all people that condoms, if used correctly and consistently, are effective in preventing HIV, STIs, and unwanted pregnancies. Take control of your sexual reproductive health today. Visit any government facility or AHF Uganda Cares facilities near you for free condoms. This message is brought to you by AHF Uganda Cares in partnership with the Ministry of Health Uganda and Toro Kingdom.
Janani Luwum Day is a public holiday in Uganda, annually celebrated on 16th February. It marks the day in 1977 when former Archbishop of the Church of Uganda was martyred for his courageous stand against human rights abuses during Idi Amin's regime. The 49th commemoration of St. Janani Luwum Day will take place under the theme Anchored in Christ for Stability, Peace and Unity in Muchwini Sub-County, Kitgum District. Don't miss the live event on Monday 16th February 2026 on UBC TV.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Business news tonight. Welcome back from the break. Now, low uptake of insurance among micro, small and medium enterprises continues to negatively affect the overall insurance penetration in Uganda, according to Dr. Haji Kandunabi Lubega, the Chief Executive Officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Speaking during an engagement with members of the Uganda Small Scale Industries Association and the Insurance Regulatory Authority officials urged SMEs to embrace insurance as a critical pillar for business sustainability and growth.
See how insurance will help us.
The Insurance Regulatory Authority has engaged members of the Uganda Small Scale Industries Association in a sensitization drive aimed at equipping entrepreneurs with practical knowledge on how insurance can mitigate risk, support business continuity, and boost investor confidence amid operational and sustainability-related uncertainties.
It is therefore important that you must recognize insurance as a practical tool for business survival and indeed continuity. Yet, many small-scale industries have decided to remain uninsured or underinsured, which often limits the protection against the businesses which you strive to make sure that you put your efforts to.
Small and medium-scale enterprises account for the majority of businesses in Uganda and provide livelihoods to millions of people across the country. However, many SMEs still perceive insurance as a luxury meant for large corporations or developed economies, a mindset the regulator is actively challenging through targeted outreach and education.
For you need it much more than even the bigger ones. For them, they can afford maybe one production line got a problem. They can afford to do away with that line and use the other 9 production lines which are still working.
The first decision we want to take as SMEs is to say we insure our employees. Most of our employees actually are not insured in SMEs. Anything happens, we start finding out how do we handle, and yet we don't know. That will be very key, but also another thing is when we have accidents like fire, burglary and all that, we have nowhere to run to. So it has been something that we think has taken our attention to see how we can protect our businesses from such kind of accidents, and we shall take it as a primary attention.
The engagement is seen as timely and strategic, coming at a time when Uganda insurance penetration has stagnated at below 1% for more than a decade, with the regulator now intensifying efforts to reverse the trend. Dennis Igor for UBC.
That is all we had for you at this particular moment. We'll have more news at 10 p.m. Thanking you so much for watching. My name is Micheal Lukomwa. With Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team, let's catch you at 10. Bye-bye for now.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype.